Now comes an important issue, which maybe we can talk in more detail in another session, but maybe we can bring it up at this time, and this is the issue of boyfriends and girlfriends. So this sometimes maybe has different meanings in different cultures or languages and so on, and is considered acceptable by some cultures and unacceptable by others. But the main issue comes up: how can we prevent ourselves from falling into these major sins? So there are those people, I grew up with people in the United States, even non-Muslims, who used to say, we have a boyfriend, we have a girlfriend, whatever it is, but we will not commit zina with them. We will wait until we are married. We will wait until we are married. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created men and women in a certain way. So when the nature of the relationship is a romantic relationship, it's a relationship of love and so on, it's quite difficult to put a proper barrier in your interactions and in your ways of dealing. So you will say that I love this person, but for example, I will not look at them in a sexual way. So when I will talk with my boyfriend or girlfriend, I will look down like this. Assalamu alaikum, how are you? Alhamdulillah, good. Then in your talking, you will not, for example, flirt and talk in a romantic or sexual way. You will say, how was your day? Alhamdulillah, good. Everything was okay, alhamdulillah. The conversation will be 2 minutes maximum, right? That's it. Like when two men call each other, we don't have much to say. Just, how everything's good, alhamdulillah, good, okay, so finished. We don't have a lot of things to say to each other because you run out of things. So if you are not going to be romantic and joking and flirting and talking with this person this kind of way, it will be quite difficult to have a proper relationship with them. Then we get to the issue of physical contact. So you will say, okay, I will have this boyfriend or girlfriend, but we won't hold hands. We won't hug. We won't kiss. We won't put an arm around the shoulder. We won't, nothing. So what will be the point? I will sit on this side, you will sit on that side. How are you? So I mean, we have to be realistic, because sometimes we will say that we will have this kind of relationship, but the relationship will have its limitations and we will be able to prevent any of this kind of haram. In actuality, even the things that are leading up to the major haram are haram in and of themselves. This is why ulama, even they will issue sometimes a fatwa about something, and the people will say, the shaykh said this is haram, why is this haram? I don't understand. This is called sadd al-dhara'i'. Preventing this small thing that can take you one step till you fall in the big thing. So we can mention the story I mentioned last time. Many of you were not here, but this is a real story that happened in our time and so on. And in a situation similar to yours, these were college students. So this was actually, the notes we are using are from an imam in California. So he's the one who told me this story actually. So he said some students called him and they said, Sheikh, we want to do a fundraising for an abortion. So he said, fundraising for abortion. Abortion is something haram. Then you want to do fundraising for something haram? I don't understand. They said, this is the story, this is what happened. They said that we have a Muslim student organization on campus. Now this is in America, majority of students are non-Muslims, so the Muslims try to gather together to have good activities for Muslims and for the non-Muslims, to give da'wah, to give back to the community, to try to help and so on. So in these activities and in these kind of organizations, sometimes they don't monitor properly the interaction between men and women. So they are open too much joking and flirting and very friendly and sitting together, and they become so comfortable with each other and so on. And they do work together because they want to make, for example, posters, they want to organize, they want to plan, they want to contact the speakers and do this and that and whatever. So they will meet together. So it happens that now two of them want to work together, but others are not available to meet at that time. So they said, it's okay, I'm a man, you're a woman, but we are able to control ourselves. We're not animals, we're not going to do something haram, so we will meet together, but we meet in a public place. Starbucks, we go to the coffee shop, everybody's around. No khalwa. Many people are there, it's okay. So we will meet together, we will work and so on. But now time comes where maybe there are supplies in another room on the campus, they need to go there to make some posters, to do some work. So they said, it's okay, other people are not available, we will be there alone, but we won't do anything haram, inshallah. So the relationship develops from there. We've already now exchanged numbers, so sometimes we will send SMS, then we added each other on Facebook, and you understand how it goes, and you may know people, or this may have happened to us, and so on. So we can see that this thing can lead one step to the other. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this surah mentions, don't follow the footsteps of shaitan. Shaitan, he doesn't come to a person, mashallah, he prays, she wears hijab, they fast Ramadan, and he says, hey, listen, commit zina. The person will say, this is from the shaitan, a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, and shaitan's plan fails immediately. But he will come and he will say, hey, listen, you want to do some good work for Islam, is that right? Yes? Okay. So, sometimes you have to bend the rules a little bit. There's no other way, because otherwise it's very difficult, very inconvenient. The brother is not creative, the sister has more good ideas, you can work together, and together you have synergy, and wow. Shaitan will come to you like this. He's a motivational speaker. He will come and start promoting and getting the person excited and making the person see things in a different way, and he will take the person step by step. So these two, the relationship grew and they started to meet each other, and subhanAllah, one time they were alone on campus, they committed zina. So from that one time, at least we assume it was one time, Allah Alam, from that one time, she got pregnant. So now, something that they didn't think about, shaitan didn't come to them and say, hey, commit zina, and by the way, you might get pregnant, or you might get a disease, or you might have this. No, he doesn't remind you about the consequences. Consequences, those are only consequences in this life, much less in the hereafter. So now the girl is pregnant, so they said, what do we do? So some of the friends, they found out, they came to the boy, they said, listen, you do the right thing, you marry her, you guys make tawbah, you raise the child, at least try to save this situation. He said, who are you talking about? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. They said so and so. He said, this girl, she's a bad girl, she's one of those kind of trashy girls, I don't know anything about her. I never did anything with her. So, easy for the man, subhanAllah. He just can turn away, walk away and pretend like nothing happened. And in many cultures and societies, even they know he's been living like this kind of haram lifestyle, he's some kind of hero or champion, then he goes and he marries some innocent, pure girl just like that. And this is very unacceptable. We should not allow our daughters or our sisters to marry somebody who's openly known as a zani and is not repenting and not changing their ways and so on. And similarly, we should not accept the female that has the same kind of lifestyle or reputation. So now the girl doesn't know what to do. Her father doesn't know yet. If her father finds out, he will kill her. He will kill her. This will be the reaction for him. Of course, maybe he should have been involved earlier on, should have been concerned about the kind of relationship she was having with the opposite sex and so on. But no, he will come after the fact when it's too late and decide, now it's time for me to discipline my daughter and so on. So now the mom knows, and she is part of the brilliant scheme. So they said, what can we do? We will do abortion. So now, to cover up the crime of committing zina, we will kill an innocent life. You can see now how shaitan, this is his dream. He will not try to stop with you falling into a major sin, but take you for more and more, till even he can get you to leave Islam. So the sheikh said, no, you cannot do it. Unfortunately, they proceeded in their own way. They gathered funds. In the end, they did do the abortion. So now what will be the situation of this girl? Everybody found out and knew, except for maybe the father, subhanAllah, didn't know. But everyone else knows. Will she be able now to get married? What will happen to her reputation? What will her physical and psychological situation be now that she had abortion? What kind of harm will that have on her? So you can see all of the harms and ramifications that this can cause just in one small situation in an individual's life. Now what about when this is multiplied in the society over and over and over and over again? So then we start having people who are dumping babies by the dumpsters because they don't want to keep those children. Or we have now people who are insisting you have to be tested for sexually transmitted diseases before we can be married, and all of these kind of things and so on, because no longer is there any kind of trust or safety because of how widespread it has become amongst our even our own societies and Muslim people and so on. Similarly, there's another story about this. We can mention it maybe just for the benefit. So we have to keep it in the proper context. That when we are doing something, we think about the big picture. This thing that I'm doing now, I'm looking at this girl and I'm not supposed to. I'm smiling. I'm chatting with her on Messenger and on Facebook. We're exchanging pictures. We're doing this, we're doing that. I may claim that I'm looking for a husband or a wife and I want halal and I want this and that. But the goals don't justify the means. So many shuyukh these days are talking about all the problems that are coming to them because of people who have relationships online. They call it, we only have online relationship. But online leads to many other things. Even those people who eventually will get married, but because the way they started out was not 100% proper or correct Islamically, so they have problems, lack of barakah in their relationships, subhanAllah. So we have to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, He guide us, and we have to ask ourselves, is what we are doing leading us in the right direction, and is it following the correct path? Because even if the goal is righteous and noble, but the path that is used to achieve that goal is not, then it's incorrect and we should be very cautious. So, this is in general, but there are many fatwa that are talking about this issue of boyfriend and girlfriend. That is something that is haram. Haram. Especially by the modern understanding of it, there is no way for you actually to have a boyfriend or girlfriend, then not look at them, not talk to them, not touch them, then what will this person be actually? This is maybe a khatib, someone that you're engaged to and that you want to get married to and so on. So of course, other issues come up that people will say, well then how do we get to know and this and that? This is another story. We can talk about it maybe another time, inshallah. But the idea is we are specifically talking in the context of zina. So zina is not something usually that will just occur randomly. Two people are walking down the street, hey, come. But this is something that people have a relationship, they know each other, they get very comfortable with each other, they fall what they will claim is love, and as soon as they commit zina one time, then they will be disgusted with each other, subhanAllah. So those people who made tawbah and they got married, and then they talk about this issue specifically. And it's ajib, the stories you hear from them. They will say that the halal was so much better than the haram, subhanAllah. And we shouldn't have any doubt about that. Of course, something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made halal has to be good in all ways actually. And something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made haram is something that is bad in all ways. And just look at society, how perverted it's becoming actually. You look now in the United States and you find that there are many of these kind of sexual crimes, there are many of these kind of rapes, and we will talk maybe some statistics next time. They mentioned, astaghfirullah, in the world, 1 in 3 women in the world will be abused in their lifetime. 33% of women in the world will be abused. This is reports from the UN and things like this. 1 in 3. 33% of women in the world will be abused, physically, sexually, and so on. So this is a result of this kind of lifestyle. When you go for the haram now in the United States, stories come out in the media all the time about people going for all kinds of sexual perversion and strange things, because when you go for the haram, after a while, you will not be satisfied anymore actually. So you will go more for different haram and worse haram and so on, till the whole society will become very polluted and corrupt. And then those who want to go just for halal and the pure way will be looked at as strange. As the people of Lut, they said about Lut alayhi salam and the believers, get rid of them, they're clean and pure people. We don't like them. We don't like this kind of clean and pure people, subhanAllah. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us, that we will not live in that kind of a world, but we see in many countries and many parts of the world that it's moving towards that. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us. I think I'll end there. Unfortunately, we didn't cover new verses, but perhaps we learned something new, or it was a reminder, inshallah, for all of us. I guess if there are any comments or questions or corrections, we can take it.